Today we're talking about market-shaking moves in AI. SpaceX just dropped $60 billion to buy a coding tool, signaling a massive shift in how companies view developer IP. We're also diving into a record-breaking $7.4 billion raise by DeepSeek, highlighting the intense global capital raise and what Microsoft's new Work IQ APIs mean for the future of enterprise agents. No BS AI briefing brought to you by Proactive AI. Welcome back. I'm your host Vikash Sharma, and this is where builders get straightforward AI news without the fluff. Alright, let's dive into some of the biggest stories for builders this week. First up, a truly eyebrow raising announcement. SpaceX acquires Cursor for $60 billion. Now, you heard that right, $60 billion. Source is Reuters, June 16th, 2026. In plain English, Elon Musk's SpaceX, a company you probably know for rockets and Starlink, is acquiring Anysphere, the company behind Cursor. If you're not familiar, Cursor is one of those AI native coding environments, often described as a VS Code style editor but built from the ground up with AI in mind. The crucial detail here, the one that makes this deal so strategic, is SpaceX's stated intention. They want Cursor's proprietary developer data to train their own grok models. This isn't just about owning a popular tool, it's about owning the real world interactions, the code completions, the refactoring suggestions, the tests generated, basically the high quality in the loop data from professional developers. For builders, this is a loud signal that AI coding tools and the data they generate aren't just productivity features anymore. They're strategic, enterprise level assets. It points to a future where models, the tools that use them, and the data generated from those interactions form a compounding advantage. Think about it. Better tools give better data, which trains better models, making even better tools. This kind of consolidation also puts immense pressure on smaller independent coding tool makers. Can they really compete when giants are buying up the market at these valuations? Rhetorical question. Slight pause. Next, a massive capital injection. DeepSeek raises $7.4 billion in a record round. Seeking Alpha reported this on June 16th, 2026. DeepSeek, a name that might not be on everyone's radar yet, just completed an astounding $7.4 billion funding round. This isn't just a big round, it's reportedly the largest single AI startup raised to date, valuing the company at over $50 billion. And here's where it gets interesting. The investors committed via a limited partnership with a 5-year lockup, meaning they can't cash out quickly, and no voting rights. Plus, China's National AI Investment Fund put money in directly. That's a clear strategic play, not just a financial one. For builders, this massive influx of state-backed capital, particularly outside the US, really underscores the global intensity of the AI race. For you, it means that while you're battling for resources and talent, there are competitors with deep, government-backed pockets able to play a much longer game. DeepSeek is known for its cost-competitive V4 models, so this funding could supercharge their ability to innovate and scale, intensifying global competition for efficient and powerful models. You might suddenly see a new player offering impressive models at price points that disrupt the market. Also, this week, a significant infrastructure play. Microsoft Work IQ APIs reach general availability. This news came from the Microsoft 365 blog on June 16th, 2026. In simple terms, Work IQ APIs are now generally available, providing the foundational plumbing for AI agents to gain semantic understanding of your organizational context through a unified interface. What are these exactly? Think of it as a secure, structured way for your AI tools to access and interpret all the data across your Microsoft 365 ecosystem, your SharePoint, your Teams chats, your Outlook emails, all your documents. Pricing is consumption based via Copilot credits, though the specific rates aren't disclosed yet. But the key is that it's currently scoped to the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. For builders, this is a huge step for anyone creating internal tools or enterprise-focused AI applications. It's establishing the secure, scalable infrastructure for genuine enterprise agents. Before this, getting an AI to act intelligently across a company's disparate data was incredibly complex and often insecure. Work IQ promises to abstract a lot of that away, letting you focus on the agent's logic rather than the underlying data plumbing. It could unlock a whole new wave of sophisticated, context aware internal automations. This is big for real world enterprise AI. And finally, a subtle but important change from Google. Google removes Gemini 3.5 Flash toggle. This was buried in the Google Cloud release notes on June 16, 2026. What happened? The feature management toggle for Gemini 3.5 Flash was simply removed. This means it's now the default and only version for new deployments. If you're starting a new project or spinning up a new instance, you're getting Flash, no choice. For builders, this indicates Google's growing confidence in the stability and performance of Flash and a clear push to simplify the developer experience by consolidating on a single best model. But it also means you're being nudged or outright forced to migrate to the latest defaults. You'll need to ensure your existing applications are compatible or that any new deployments are built with Flash in mind. It's a powerful reminder that foundation model providers can and often will dictate your stack, sometimes with little advanced warning. Staying up to date isn't just good practice anymore, it's becoming a mandatory part of managing your tech stack. Now, out of these stories, the one that really demands a deeper look for me is the SpaceX acquisition of Cursor and what it means for the consolidation of AI developer tools. So let's unpack this $60 billion bombshell. SpaceX, a company primarily known for rockets and satellite internet, just announced its intent to acquire Anysphere, the company behind Cursor. If you are not familiar, Cursor is one of those AI native coding environments, often described as a VS Code style editor, but built from the ground up with AI in mind. The crucial detail here, the one that makes this deal so strategic, is SpaceX's stated intention. They want Cursor's proprietary developer data to train their own Grok models. This isn't just about owning a popular tool, it's about owning the real world interactions, the code completions, the refactoring suggestions, the tests generated, basically the high quality in the loop data from professional developers. It's a direct pipeline to making their foundational models smarter, faster, and more practical for real world coding challenges. This is more than a purchase, it's a strategic resource grab. This acquisition isn't just a big number for a tech acquisition, it fundamentally shifts how we should think about the AI developer tools market. First, it loudly proclaims that AI coding isn't a niche feature or a nice to have, it's now considered a strategic enterprise asset. Imagine a company like SpaceX, known for incredibly complex engineering challenges and mission critical software, seeing value in a coding tool at this valuation. That tells you everything. Second, it highlights the immense power of a model tool data feedback loop. By integrating Cursor's user data into Grok's training, SpaceX creates a compounding advantage. Better models lead to better tools, which generate richer data, making the models even better. This kind of vertical integration is a classic play to build an unassailable moat. Third, this move will accelerate consolidation in the AI developer tool space. If you're building an independent AI coding tool, you're now operating in a world where giants are not just building their own but buying yours at unprecedented valuations, often to feed their own model ambitions. This isn't just about market share, it's about data supremacy. So, who should really be paying attention here? Well, first, gay AI startup founders. They're in the developer tools space. Your window for independent growth might be shrinking as the big players look to consolidate. Second, product managers today designing developer experiences. You need to consider how integrating AI tools and leveraging user data can become a core part of your product strategy. Third, engineering leaders and board architects. This pushes the conversation from should we use AI coding tools to how do we best integrate them into our workflow and what are the long term implications of giving our code and interactions to a specific vendor. And finally, indie hackers and individual developers. Understand that your daily coding interactions are incredibly valuable data points, and the tools you choose have implications for who gets that data. As a builder, I'm looking at this and thinking about the concept of AI native IP. Cursor isn't just a text editor, it's a smart agent that helps developers write code, understand code, refactor code. The way it interacts with developers, the patterns it sees, the problems it helps solve, that interaction data is incredibly rich. For me, the opportunity lies in understanding that this is the new battleground for competitive advantage. Can you create a similar feedback loop within your own niche, even if it's smaller scale? Think about your specific domain. What unique data are your users generating as they interact with your product that could train a domain specific model? The risk, of course, is that if you're building a horizontal developer tool, you're now up against players with effectively unlimited resources and a clear motivation to build vertically integrated solutions. The hype warning here is that while 60 billion is a massive number, the real value is still nascent. AI coding adoption is growing, but it's not fully ubiquitous yet. This valuation is a bet on future potential, so don't get swept away thinking every AI coding startup is worth this much. But do recognize the strategic intent behind such a move. My Nobius take is simple. This isn't just about a big acquisition, it's a declaration. AI coding is no longer a peripheral utility, it's a core strategic asset central to the future of software development itself. If you're not thinking about how AI tools are capturing and leveraging developer data, you're already behind. This is a clear signal that the data generated by developers using AI tools is perhaps as valuable as the code they write with them. Alright, if you want one practical takeaway from today's episode, especially in light of that Cursor acquisition and the consolidation we're seeing, here it is. Audit your team's AI coding stack this week. This isn't about buying new tools, it's about understanding what you already have in use and how it's being leveraged. Here's how to try it in under 30 minutes. One, survey your team on their current AI coding tools. So send a quick poll or chat message, maybe a Slack or Teams message, asking everyone what AI coding assistants they're actively using right now. Are they using GitHub Copilot, perhaps Cursor, some internal tool, or maybe something else entirely, but a rhetorical question. Also ask them why they chose that particular tool and, importantly, what specific tasks it helps them with. Is it primarily for code completion, for refactoring, for writing tests, debugging, or generating documentation? You might be surprised by the variety of answers and tools in use. 2. Where I map specific tasks to current tool usage. Once you've got that data back, create a simple matrix. You can use a spreadsheet or even just a whiteboard. List your common coding tasks, things like write a new function, refactor a module, generate unit tests, or explain legacy code. Then map out which tools are being used for which tasks by your team. Look for overlaps or obvious gaps. Are multiple people using entirely different tools for the exact same thing? Or are there crucial tasks where no one's really leaning on AI assistance but probably could be? 3. Identify standardization opportunities and data implications. Based on your mapping, think about where you could potentially standardize. If everyone's using different tools for similar tasks, is there a benefit to consolidating? This could be for cost, consistency, or even just team knowledge sharing. But more critically, consider the data implications. Which tools are collecting your team's code and interaction data? What are their privacy policies? Do they feed into a general model, or is that data isolated and secured? This exercise isn't just about efficiency, it's about understanding your team's current AI footprint and the strategic data flow you're creating, intentionally or not. This specific experiment is worth your time right now because the AI coding tools market is rapidly maturing and consolidating, as we saw with the Cursor news. Understanding your team's current habits and the underlying data flows will equip you to make more informed decisions about future tooling, potential vendor lock in, and how to best leverage these powerful assistants without inadvertently giving away your strategic IP or creating technical debt down the line. It really helps you see beyond just the surface feature set to the deeper strategic implications for your products and your engineering team. That's it for today's No BS AI briefing. If this helped, follow the show in your podcast app and share it with one builder you know. And if you've got questions or topics you want covered, connect with me on LinkedIn and send them over. See you in the next briefing.